school A, on the other side of the road, has swimming pool. School B, on the other side of the road, does not have. What about the basic resources? We would definitely say that school A definitely has more resources compared to school B, because if they have the swimming pool, it means resources like classrooms, teaching materials, learning materials should not be a problem. And it takes us back to what I was saying, that every government that comes in place knows, is aware of these educational disparities in our country. It's not that they don't know, they know. How many times have it been featured that somewhere, students are learning under a tree? Teachers are insufficient. We have inadequate teachers. And you cannot say that the government is not aware that such disparities exist. And that's why we need also to give credit to something like devolution, because devolution has helped the education sector, all the burdens of providing education to the students, not only to rest on the shoulder of the national government, but also now to be shared with the county governments. Because if you look at early childhood education, that is a function of the counties. You go to the polytechnics, you go to the child cares, education that is left for the counties. Then you come to the national government, they're supposed to provide primary, secondary, university. So if these devolved functions of education would actually go to the point of assessing the needs, assess the needs per different places, and see that this place requires more resources to be allocated to it than the other places. Actually, that is why we have this fund in the budget called the Equalization Fund. So that the Equalization Fund is supposed to help those places that are disadvantaged compared to others to get more resources, so that they are given more compared to those that are already well endowed, so that their levels are also uplifted. For me, I've not heard the government complain that, you know, we are short of our manifesto. We didn't capture this, that's why we didn't provide. But now allow us another term to capture this so that we're able to provide. All these things we have beautifully done in different manifestos, different policies. You know, like myself, my PhD was in strategic planning process and the management of public secondary schools in Nairobi County. And through the strategic plans, if schools were to be given the opportunity to draft or to draw their strategic plans, then they will be able to know the resources that they are insufficient of, the strategies they need to put in place to ensure that they have those resources, so that the implementation becomes very easy. You identify a problem and be able to map out that from here, how are we going to be able to bridge the gap that is in existence. Now, School A, I go back to what you said. School A has the resources that are needed. School B does not have the resources that School A has. Therefore, it also calls on the stakeholders. We have managers of these schools. We have the board of management, we have the parents association, we have, you know, the ministry involved. If the stakeholders would also like do, for example, a benchmark, try to find out what really makes School A more endowed with resources compared to School B. And therefore, they do like some exchanges. If the parents there are more active in terms of helping their students or their teachers or their schools getting resources than this other side, then we need to find out, why are these parents this other side more motivated to provide for their students than the parents the other side? Why is the board of management this side more motivated to ensure that the resources and the facilities needed in their schools, why are they more motivated to provide compared to those other stakeholders in other schools? Therefore, this calls for a wide array of stakeholders coming on board. Like myself, we have a system, Alliance High School. The board of management, they know what our school needs as at now. Of course, through our strategic plan, we know that yes, we have achieved this much, but we still have this that is not within our reach. what are we putting in place to ensure that we are going to have also this provided to our students? So it calls for, apart from the goodwill of the government, we need key people like the board of management coming on board, the parents coming on board to push different resources, either from the government or from their side. Because remember, there's the issue of the cost sharing in education. It's not only on the side of the government to provide the resources and the facilities needed for our students. It's co-sharing. Let the parents do their part. Let the board of management do their part. Let the all the stakeholders, the government does its part, and then we all pull these resources together and ensure that we give our learners the needed facilities that they need for them to compete favorably compared to other students or other learners.
Thank you very much, Mwalimu, and we thank you for sharing your ideas with us. Definitely this conversation must continue. We wish you the very best, and pass our regards to your students as they prepare for their exams. And yes, indeed, we must have this conversation moving forward because our exams must be protected. Integrity is key. Asante sana.
Let me say something to the students, the learners that are sitting for their national examinations. We want to believe, for example, the class 8 learners, you have been in that school or in that system for 8 good years. From my perspective as a teacher, I want to believe that the 8 years will not go in vain. You have all it takes to do well in your national examinations, have the confidence, dedicate everything to God in prayer, and then we shall celebrate you when the time comes. But above all, let us stand to give our country the best of it, because you are the future generation. So wish you all the best, and may God bless you as you sit for your national examinations.
Thank you very much, Mwalimu. But now, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja is currently launching the preparations for the Nairobi Festival 2nd edition that will run from December 11th through to December 16th this year. Let's cross over and listen in live.